So next up in our video series around Microsoft Teams, we'll be looking at configuring your team. So what I mean by configuring your team, it's about setting up your team so that you can work better. In a team, you have different channels, and the general channel is created by default. I've already created 3 other channels. So let's add another channel, and I'm going to call this learning and development, for example. So channels will be all about your focus areas, but also keep in mind that for each channel you create, it also creates a folder in the background on your SharePoint document library. So if I go to SharePoint, just to remind you, you'll see here all the folders are in my SharePoint document library. So keep in mind that your channels are folders, but it also helps you to categorize and group conversations and documents that you share according to these channels. Apart from the channels, of course, you can also add members. So there we go, members, manage your team. This is where I can add more members to my team or configure who must be owners or just members. So that's looking at managing the team, the members on your Microsoft team. And then also on each of the channels, you can add your own tabs. So at the top there, you'll see that there's got conversations, which is Skype for Business, files, which is the documents that are shared in the channels, and wiki. So wiki is like your SharePoint wiki pages. Great to put governance notes, etc. in there. But you can also click and add any other apps that you'd like to use. The examples that I'll show today is, for example, to add a website. So I could very easily add my favorite search engine in here, because it just makes it easier, of course, to go and to just work in this environment and very quickly find the things that it is that I need to find. I can also add any other websites that I use all the time. So Mind Tools is one of my favorites, and I'm going to add that. There we go. And then, of course, I can also add, for example, my SharePoint intranet site. So I'm going to add that as well. I am going to add that as a website at the moment. I know that they're still busy working on the SharePoint pages, that'll be launched soon. So I'm going to just paste the link there, and this will be my intranet. It might ask you to authenticate the first time that it logs in. So I'll just give that a moment to happen as well when you've set it up. So this will be my SharePoint intranet. And then I can also add other tabs. So the 2 tabs that I do want to talk about very quickly, and as mentioned, you can also add online Office documents, is I want to talk about OneNote and I want to talk about Planner. Please be very careful when adding OneNote, because a OneNote's created in the background already. Do not create a new OneNote. If you go to Browse OneNote and you don't see this Teams OneNote there, then rather go and use Paste OneNote link, open your SharePoint site, click on Notebook, and when the notebook opens, copy the URL at the top and then use that to add an existing OneNote by pasting the link there. So you can then paste the link there. Do not create a new OneNote. For now, I can select the latest OneNote. It does take a couple of hours for this to integrate, so it doesn't always show immediately. So just have patience with that. Then also same goes for your planner. Do not create a new plan. It's already created a plan in the background. So I'm talking about the first time you add a plan to your team. It's okay if you want to add extra plans later, but for now, the best would be is to link to the existing plan. Again, this doesn't always show immediately, so please give a couple of hours for this to pull through. If it doesn't show yet, focus on some of the other things first. Your OneNote you can immediately add by going to the SharePoint site. So add your OneNote so long, and then wait for the planner to integrate so that you're able to add that as well. Be very, very careful to create new OneNotes and new planners, because it's not showing yet because the integration's not run fully. So you can add separate tabs, and remember that you can have different tabs per channel. So whatever is important on those specific channels, I can then add separate tabs for those. Definitely a cool thing to do is to then use Planner and OneNote in there as well, and we'll definitely cover this in part 6 of the series around productivity. Catch up soon.